welcome to another episode of Gaming News. On today's show, we're talking about Halo Infinite, a story which we covered back at the end of 2021. The game suffered through a very messy launch, pissing off fans of the franchise as the ill-advised launch strategy sent the player base running for the hills. And guess what? Here we are many months later and the game is still a freaking mess. Remember that wonderful promise of co-op coming? Nope, still not here. So we're going to talk about what is happening here and what is next in this very embarrassing latest chapter for the Halo universe. And so from Adrian's Corner, I am Adrian, and our episode is starting right now. So back in early December, we covered the story on Halo Infinite's weird release launch, which quickly caused a fracture within the Halo gaming community that escalated to the point beyond insanity, leading to the Halo subreddit getting temporarily shut down as name-calling, threats, and attempts to dox users spiraled out of control. At the heart of this mess was 343's launch plan. Despite arriving a full year after its original 2020 release, Halo Infinite's multiplayer was bare bones. Staple modes like King of the Hill, Assault, Fiesta, and even Free-for-All Slayer just not there, and it didn't take long before people started questioning, was this all there is? Halo Infinite's weird launch was at best ill-advised. See, first they released the multiplayer a month in advance of the campaign launch, which unfortunately revealed a game that just really wasn't ready for prime time, as many game modes weren't even ready for launch, leading to the discovery of hidden player modes by Wicked Soldier 991, who discovered that these modes were visible when you played Halo Infinite offline and found a way to save them and enable them for online play, which only made the online complaints and infighting amongst the community to blow up even quicker and faster and led to the aforementioned shutdown of the Halo subreddit page. Now this led to a cratering of the online player base. At launch of Halo Infinite multiplayer, the game peaked at 270,000 users. But by launch of the campaign, just a month later, there was already under 150,000 users at peak. Now, aside from the unforced error of the multiplayer launch made by 343, when the campaign side of Halo Infinite launched, what we were left with was a game with a weak story that didn't please many, a light-on-content open world that was more empty space than anything else, which we went into more detail in our December episode. And I will link to that in the description below. In any case, we're still at launch, and now here we are a few months later, no co-op available. This was considered sacrilege as co-op campaign play has been a staple of the Halo franchise since the very beginning, as anyone who has played the series would know. Joseph Staten, head of creative, Halo Infinite creative lead of 343, tried to deflect the criticism about this huge feature missing from the game, and was quoted as saying that, "We don't just want to ship a campaign co-op that barely works. We want to ship a campaign co-op that's stable, that's robust, that has the features player expect. To really make meeting up with your friends and you're jumping into the game good, just not for campaign, but even better for multiplayer too." So, when it comes to shipping campaign co-op, we have a lot of other things that kind of branches off that central trunk of campaign co-op that we think are an opportunity to just improve the whole game experience, as it has ever been, and maybe even more so in this new style of game. And yet, here we are many months later and co-op is still not here. Nope. Instead, in the most recent 343 announcement, Joseph talked about their Priority Zero protocol. Essentially, this means that they will sometimes work slower so that later they can move faster. What? What in the hell does that mean? Now this leads us then to the next question. Does this mean that co-op will finally make it out of development hell now that you're maybe moving faster? Or are you still working slower right now? I mean, according to the most recent update, it shows that it's still slated to release sometime during Season 2. But Joseph also said this about co-op. He said that it is going to take more time to land a high-quality, full-featured 4-player network co-op experience in the massive, wide-open world of Halo Infinite. And he went on to say that we are committed to a great 2-player split-screen co-op experience on all Xbox consoles, from the original Xbox One through Xbox Series X. The non-linear, wide-open sections of the campaign present some big challenges for split-screen that have taken us more time to solve. So the long and the short of it is, maybe? But considering the track record so far, and how long the game has been out without this feature, something tells me that you probably shouldn't count on it. Of course, time will tell, and we would like to see this feature out, so, keep your fingers crossed. Now, in the meantime, and back to more of the future for Halo Infinite, or more specifically its multiplayer, Season 2 is tasked with attempting to reinvigorate a game that has already stagnated. However, as Natalie Clayton of PC Gamer put it, for all the improvements, my latest attempt to jump back into Infinite had me exhausted within 3 rounds. It is still the same Infinite, even if some of my opponents have more garish hats. Season 2, it's, a little fresh coat of paint here, but I don't think it's gonna cut it. And that just makes me think that the future for Halo Infinite multiplayer and Halo Infinite as a game is looking pretty grim. Which is too bad and a big misstep by 343 Industries. And that, my friends, brings our episode to a close once more. As always, thank you so much for joining me on my show today. From Adrian's Corner, I am Adrian, and I will see you all next time.